I recently had the opportunity to observe over the past probably 7 months, two funerals. And one funeral I got to preside over, and I was very grateful for that because it was a very simple funeral. There was no big, long, drawn out lines, and there was no body to view, and no, just as a whole lot of stuff. It was just a very plain, simple, putting a person back to the earth funeral. But then I just had one up here recently. I didn't, but another pastor did. And it was a really big affair. I mean, it was an expensive casket. There was all kinds of flowers. There was all kinds of people. There was viewings, and there was, it just went on and on. A couple hundred people attended, and for a small area like Emmitsburg, that's quite a few people. So I got thinking, as I was listening to all the things going on at the funeral, and all the carrying on and so on and so forth, which is natural. People do mourn, but something, I think funerals today are a ripoff. I mean, seriously, why do we really need funerals? Look, let me explain something. When Jesus died, and there was funerals back in those days, they didn't have funerals. They took the body and they buried it. Period. That was the end of it. You see, funerals today, man, they're so extravagant and so expensive. I remember that when my mom died, there was a big to-do after the funeral over the casket that she was laid to rest in. And I was listening to the family argue back and forth about the price of this thing and who's going to pay for it and who's not going to pay for it. And unfortunately, that didn't happen with my dad or my brother when they passed. But the idea is we spend an awful lot of money to put people in the ground. Now, I'm not against it, but listen to what I have to say. We go through tens of thousands of dollars in some cases to have these big extravagant funerals, right? Okay. The person who's in that casket doesn't enjoy it. They don't know what's going on. They're dead. They're gone. So what's it for? Probably to make us feel better. And I got thinking about it. Why don't we do it the way they do in the Mideast? Dead in the morning, buried in the afternoon. Very simple, very plain, done and over with. No big expense. That's it. But today we spend so much money putting a person in the ground so they could be memorialized. I have a problem with that because let me tell you something. 20 years from now, 25 years from now, maybe 50 years from now, people are not going to remember that person. Period. I mean, the immediate family will, perhaps. They might go over to the graveyard once a year, Memorial Day or some other time, maybe an anniversary or birthday, and look down at the grave and, say, oh, well, we really miss you. But the thing is, look how much money it took to put that person in the ground. You put him in a casket that's going to rot away anyways. It's going to take years upon years for the body to properly decay because it's got all those chemicals in it, pumped full of chemicals that the body really doesn't need. When Jesus died, they took him from the cross, they embalmed him with some spices, wrapped him up, and put him in a grave. Of course, they were expecting him to rise again from the dead, but boy, did they get a surprise, amen? But the same with Lazarus. Lazarus was wrapped up in cloths. He had spices on him. But he came up out of the grave. But the fact is that they didn't go through a big luxury thing. I can understand if a person gets married, or there's a birth, or there's an anniversary, birthdays, fine, celebrate, spend the money, enjoy yourself if that's what you want to do. But for the person that's being buried, I got news for you. They don't enjoy 1 red cent of what you're spending on that funeral. All we're doing is getting some funeral directors rich. We're paying their bills for them, giving them a big fat salary. The casket people are making big fat salaries. The flower people are making big fat salaries. Come on, people, we got to wake up. No wonder our economy is like it is. We spend a lot of money foolishly, especially on funerals. My suggestion, when they die in the morning, have it all arranged so that afternoon you can bury them immediately. And it doesn't have to be a $5, $6, $7, $8, $9, $10,000 casket. My God, my mom's casket, I think, cost probably half as much as my car. That's a lot of money. And for what? Mom's not enjoying it. She's laying there rotting away. So you have to ask yourself about these funerals. I know if you're going to be upset, oh, how can he say it? Well, get over it, okay? That's the way I feel. This is my opinion, and it is Friday, January the 9th, 2015. You can always get a hold of me. Just email me at dlpark777@gmail.com, and I will get back with you. Or you might even find me on Facebook. Maybe, maybe not. All right, have a good day. Thanks.